Hello everybody and welcome to the Genumaniac. Today I am playing City Skylines. This is a city building game by Paradox Interactive in Colossal Order. And this is probably my favorite city building game of all time. And it's really good. It's a good city building game. There's a lot to it. I'm pretty bad at it. I've never really been able to do this well. That's why I'm playing with infinite money for the first game, just to kind of get back into it. I'm gonna do a few of these videos, maybe only even one or two, just to sort of see what people think. If you like it, if you think it's boring, whatever. So yeah. So the way I typically start is, so I have all the roads unlocked here. I typically start by building a roundabout, because that lets me build a lot of different, streets and things going off of one roundabout. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to have it just link up like that, and we're going to actually just get rid of that, and then we're going to have the highway come in this way, and sort of bind in like that. And then, oh yeah, so we got to switch the direction, so what you do is then you go like that, awesome. Okay, and then, so these are single lane, we're going to make these double lane, because what can happen with these roundabouts is a lot of traffic can be going through them. And they get congested and clogged up, and it's not fun. So we'll just do one side for now. And then, do the street out, like that. Way out like that. We'll probably build a bridge at some point, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. And then we'll build this out, all the way there. Okay. So these are going to be our blocks. You can get kind of creative with sort of how you lay out your city design. I have kind of experimented with doing a pattern like this, where it's sort of like, is like a it kind of radiates, kind of radial. Is that what I'm trying to say? But this is a really sloppy version, but it kind of does that. That's a good. But I think I'm gonna just do blocks for now. So we'll do that. So we'll get that kind of going. So we'll get that going down there, and then we'll get those sort of link up like that. Okay. So now, what we're gonna do is we're going to build the actual blocks. Now, a lot goes into just doing this properly, so you have maximum coverage when you make these blocks, because you don't want to have, see, so there's kind of that rectangle that's formed next to the actual road, so that shows where you can zoom. And what we want to do is we want to try, this is pretty sloppy, but you want to try and get them to not overlap too much, but touch, so you can get plenty of buildings crammed into this space like that. Well, that wasn't actually that great, but so we'll go down there. Some people build cities that are really dense, so where like they'll have a ton of houses in a really small area, or other people will build kind of like suburban style things where it's kind of less houses in a bigger area, but the land value tends to be higher, because the land value is basically dictated by sort of how I don't know how to say this, but sort of how it how, like, what facilities are around the building. So like if we had like parks and plazas, I think, add quite a lot to land value. Whereas like hospitals and things don't add a lot. They still add some, but not a lot. Things that take away from it are like loud streets. So what, like highways and things can actually make it so they get the land value decreases. I'm gonna slowly just build this. Okay, so we have all these done. You can see that it's very big. It's a little bit bigger than I expected it to be, but I think it should be good, especially because you can see down here we have demand. So we have very high demand for residential zone. So we're going to try and keep the residential stuff away from this roundabout, because the roundabout will produce a lot of noise. But before we do that, I just remembered, you need to put power and water. You need to get those hooked up. So we'll get the water hooked up first. So you can see these arrows point in the direction that the sewage flows, and that the water flows. So if you dump sewage in down here, the sewage will spread all the way through and up into there. So what we want to do is we want to put the sewage plant kind of right at the end of our zone here. So what we can do is we can take away this area, so we can make this sewage not be going through our city. So you can see that when I make this, there's like an orange circle and then like a blue circle. So the orange circle, I think, is where the sewage and the pollution will go, and the blue circle is where it'll like where you can hook it up to the power grid. We'll plump that there. And you can see it needs electricity. We'll deal with that in just a minute. And we're just going to run the pipes all the way down there, up, and then back to there. And then the zone of influence of these pipes is pretty big, so we can just really kind of get these going through these neighborhoods pretty easily. That's covered, so that's our sewage system and our water system. So you can see there are two pipes. One is gray and one is green. Green is sewage, and then once we hook the water up, you'll see that we've got blue also flowing into our sewage system. Okay, awesome. So now we need to hook up these. So I have everything unlocked before just to kind of make this video faster. I would need to go through these things that are called milestones, so obviously you can't see them here, but you have to start in Little Hamlet, and once you get a certain population amount, you get new services, and you can get loans and taxes and buildings, and you sort of work your way up from that to a megalopolis. So you can get a bunch of areas, you can get monuments, all this cool stuff. Okay, these are advanced wind turbines. These things are really cool. They produce quite a bit of electricity. Just plop 4 of those in. And then I'm going to get that hooked there. And then once we get the electricity hooked up, we can just grab it from there and take it over there. but I think for now I'm just going to have it go all the way down, even though it looks really weird. You can't really see very well here, but... Okay. Now we will get some low density. So they have different density residential zone, or different density zones. They've got low residential zones, then you got high density, then low density commercial, high density commercial, industrial, and then office zone. So there you go. Okay, we're going to start in the middle here, just to sort of get, and we can actually here, we can use this really cool thing here, where you can just brush it in, which is really, really cool. So it helps you kind of do a large area without having to click a lot and spend a lot of time trying to finesse the clicking. So I think that's probably enough for now. I'm going to pause the game just while we kind of get that all figured out. Okay, we'll just finish up these little zones that didn't get quite filled. I'll take out some that don't really matter. For the most part, I think buildings will fill in pretty much any zone. Some stuff does not fill, like these little one squared things. I don't know if those actually fill the building. Okay, so we have that, so we'll speed up time just a little bit. We'll be able to see people moving in, I think. Yeah, we've already got some people moving in. They need electricity, so this is something that can get really messy really quickly, is sort of how and where to put these electricity things. These sort of like the lines, the electricity lines. For some reason, are these producing energy? These are not producing energy. Oh, because it's not in the... You see, you have to get into the blue area, and then it will begin producing energy. Okay, awesome. So remember to look at newly unlocked service, blah, blah. So here, this is a workshop mod, but it's called City Vitals, so it shows all of the things here that are vital to my city. So electricity, and water, and landfill, and cemetery, and health, and all that kind of stuff. So that's really important to understand what buildings we need to build, what buildings we maybe have too many of, so it can help you to kind of cut costs, and then also, you know, make money as well. Or it can inform you a good ways to spend money, which I think is equally as important. I'm trying to get this in here. I don't know why it's not letting me. I think it's confused about where. What is going on? I can't tell here if it was. I can't really tell. Hold on. Oh wait, what's on? Oh, I see. City limits. Oh, is it? Something is... Wait. What is going on with that? I think it's... I'm confused about where it's being built. Oh, I see. So it's where... Yeah, that's one of the only things with this game is that it can get visually confusing very quickly. Okay, there we go. That should be getting us electricity. It's a bad way to do it, but it should be working. Alright, new services, whatever. Okay, so sewage is going well now. People are going to be moving in, and you can see we have a medium demand for commercial and industrial or offices. So let's zone some commercial. Out here we'll just do low density, I think, for the most part. Whereas, like, up in the other areas, we'll do higher density stuff. So, let's see, we'll put one there, and there, and there. Oh, and there. Okay, so then that should mean that they'll start moving in. Let's see. I think I have a lot of roads here. Maybe we'll actually get, you know what? We're going to get rid of some of these roads, I think, actually, because I really don't think that we'll be filling all of them up. That's really good. We're going to get rid of some of them, I think, because they don't really matter. Also, it does cost us money. Not like money really matters, but doing this on infinite money practice for making money, because it can be pretty hard to make a lot of money in the base game, or in the game where you don't have it. So we can buy land here. It's just informing us that you can kind of continue growing squares, so you can get really big cities going. Okay, so you can see commercials moving in. We have a really high demand now for offices. We could build our sort of industrial area over here. Let's see what we can do here. So build another roundabout. Build it there. And then we'll we'll upgrade these to double roads. Well, actually, first, we'll get rid of that. And then we'll get double roads here. Okay. And then we'll get these coming in here. Direction. Okay, so now we'll do a similar layout, I think. We'll just have some of the roads going out. So it's good to always have industrial kind of away from residential for a number of reasons. One, it does produce pollution, and two, goods need to come into the city. And if you already have a lot of people over here who are trying to get into the city to go to residential areas, interfering with the goods, industrial can actually shut down, and it makes it so you won't make any money from that. But I think up here, for now, we'll just put in offices. I think that might be better. So I'll just get a little white. I don't want to get too much offices going, because that can kind of become not good if you have too much. And you can see I didn't do that very well. So even with offices, it's important to keep everything packed, especially with the high density stuff. It's pretty important to keep everything kind of compact and together. Let's see if we can get... You can get a little finicky with hills sometimes. But very similar to SimCity in design, where you're zoning and you're sort of doing a lot of macro management stuff and less like kind of like micro stuff, maybe more like Banished, or I don't really know a lot of city building games that have macro or micro management. Okay, so here we go. So now we'll zone offices, and we'll get these going up here. There we go. Okay, awesome. Let's see what those look like in just a minute. We could build a bridge across. That might be helpful, just to kind of get people moving, especially since buildings can actually have a hard time. Oops, that's a problem. Oh, the bridge. Oh no, the bridge just had a problem. Oh, okay. Why don't we do this? I think this will work. Messy, and they don't look good. I kind of wish that there was another, like maybe a, like underwater, or like cable piping or something that you can pipe electricity through. Might just look a little cooler, but we'll just get a few of these over here. You're not going to need that many, but I think if we can get a few of them over here. So we'll get these over there. Okay, so that means those will get going. And that'll not be a problem with this bridge. Oh yeah, we actually have to hook up water up here, so we're gonna get the pipes up first. Okay. There, awesome. So we can just get the water piping up to there. Pipes are nice because you can't see them, and they function kind of basically, well, they function basically the same no matter the distance. You can see some people, there's a trash problem. Landfill usage is really low, but it might be good to get a landfill in, just because that could be good. And I think that will be it. So that's kind of basically what you do to get some basic get some really basic facilities up. You get some industrial, you get some residential, you get landfill, maybe you get a few schools and things up. You can get a school there, and then everyone's happier, and the land value goes up. But yeah, so that sort of is a good thing to do. I really encourage getting the City Vitals workshop mod. It helps a lot with, so you don't have to go into every one of these tabs and look at what the crime rate is or whatever the problem is. But yeah, so that's kind of a little introductory thing to just how this game works, and stuff like that. Oh, does that reach? Oh, it doesn't reach. As you can see, it does get a little finicky sometimes, but, you know, that's how it works. Recently they introduced, well, I say recently, but they introduced a, European buildings mod. Paradox introduced this. Certain maps have what's called a European biome, so all the high-density things are in like a European style, so you can see it's sort of like a kind of very tall, narrow building. But yeah, so that's sort of it. That's sort of what our city looks like. Looks really awesome. It's pretty small still. It's very, very small still. We only have, you know, probably 8-9 blocks of that and a few blocks of this, but you can very quickly grow. This game definitely is tough to grow quickly in. A lot of things can happen. This is another mod I got right now. So you can see them moving around our city. Oh, I just went into his garage. But yeah, so you can't really, you gotta be careful when you expand too quickly. Bad things can happen. But yeah, so that's City Skylines. If you like this, comment, tell me why you liked it. Tell me if it was too long, if it was too short. If you would watch just like little bits of it, maybe, like if you didn't want to watch it all the way through, maybe just kind of like a highlight thing. But yeah, so tell me what you think. Like it, subscribe, and thank you for watching.